All right, guys. So I've got this interestingly, precariously positioned telephone. So we're going to do the best we can right now. All right, so these black lines here that I'm making a little bit darker with this pen are your 3-second marks. So if you're looking at this strip, that's your 6-second window. So first thing we're going to do is check to see if it's regular, and remember to do that, we check our R to R interval. So the easiest way is to lay down your paper or get your calipers and make a mark. There's the top of one R, there's the top of another R. Now, I'm going to take my paper and just slide it across and see if those marks are in the same spot every time. And in this case, they are. So you can see this person's R to R interval is consistent, meaning that their rate is regular, right? Next thing we're going to do is within our 6-second window, we see this is our 6-second window. We're going to count our beats. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this person has a heart rate of about 90. I've completed almost another wave here and kind of a piece of one here. So if you want to split the difference, about 95. And that works out well considering they told us it's 94, right? So, or 93. So there's counting those pieces. Then we're going to look next. So we've got a regular rate, and we've already figured out what it is. And it's about 90 to 95. Now we're going to look for our P waves and see, does each one have a P wave? So I'm going to zoom in just a little for this part. So we're only looking at a couple at the time. So like on this first one here, you can see a definitive P wave. It begins right here, and then that right there is the beginning of your QRS. Then we have our QRS, and then we have an inverted T wave, which if we remember, that's indicative of ischemia, and this is an actual strip from a patient. So maybe they had an MI in the past or something like that. So we've got that inverted T wave. So if we zoom in far enough that you can see, I'm going to try to anyways. I think you can see there, that's one large block. Here to here is one large block, and we're just inside that. So that is 4, 8, 12, 16. So our PR interval is 0.16 seconds, which is normal. Then we have our QRS, and that is 1, 2. So that's 0.08, which again is normal. So we have one P wave, a QRS, a T wave. It's inverted, but we don't have anything to do with that right now. That may be historical. We have a normal PR interval, a normal QRS interval. So this right here is a strip with normal sinus rhythm with a PR interval of 0.16 and a QRS of 0.08 with an inverted T. So that's kind of the analysis of this strip that you're looking at here. Okay, so let's do another one. I'm going to zoom back out. I've already used this strip before, so it's got some markings on it, and that's okay. So this one's long. I'm going to kind of just run down it here so you can see. But let's look at this section right here in the middle. Each one of these little arrows I've previously marked indicates your P wave there. So you've got P, QRS, T, P, QRS, T, P, QRS, T. So as you can see, you're having a normal PQRS complex each time. Okay, let's look at the 6-second window. We got time here, and you can see this one in your screen. Yep. So there's a 6-second window. So let's count our R to R's there. So we have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this person has like 95 to 100 heart rate. We've got a little abnormal piece here that kind of tricks us on that one. So we've got a heart rate of about 95. Let's check and see if our R to R intervals are consistent. And so remember, to do that, we're going to take and mark a line at this R and this R, and kind of move it down and see if it matches. And so far, each one has matched. We get to this one, and it doesn't quite match, right? Because it's inverted. But then we move on down to the next one, and it matches again, and we're right back on track with matching. So we have a regular rhythm with a heart rate around 95. I'm going to try to zoom in for you, and let's see if we can get to some of these PR intervals. Okay. So looking at this one here, P wave begins, QRS begins. We've got 4, 8, 12, 14. So 0.14 there. And then our QRS, we'll pick a different QRS to look at to make it a little bit easier. Since I'm writing on it, it won't get in the way. So you've got 4. That one's like 8, 10. Counting those small dots. So you have a normal QRS, you've got a normal PR interval, you've got 1 P for each wave, you've got a T wave, you got a heart rate that's normal, and you got a regular rate and rhythm. So this strip in general is normal sinus rhythm. But you can see there's a few odd little things about it, right? For example, this right here. We had our P, QRS, T, and then we've got this like kind of weird change that occurs right here. But if you look at the time, it's like only 0.08, 0.10. That's a normal QRS complex, and the P didn't really have that normal interval. So that's a PAC. That was a premature atrial contraction. It kind of went off before it was its turn, and then it returned normal. And then also back here, earlier in the tracing, we had a PVC or two. And if you notice, the shape of the two of them are different. You had one kind of wide complex at the bottom, which is this one, and then this one has a wider complex at the top. So these are multifocal PVCs because they both have a QRS starting here and ending here, which is greater than 0.1. Again, QRS starting here and in here, greater than 0.1. So those are PVCs. They look different, so that means they're multifocal. In this tracing that I'm looking at, I have a 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. I have about a 36 second strip in total. And so in that half minute, I have 1 PAC and 2 PVCs. Nothing like super alarming for this patient. You can see the whole length of the strip there. There's one more down there towards the end. So like 3 PVCs. So that's like, 1 every 10 seconds on average, which is a little bit more than normal, but still nothing alarming because the patient's not symptomatic. So this strip in reality is a normal sinus rhythm strip because we have 1 P wave for each QRS complex with a PR interval between 12 and 20, a QRS interval between 0.6 and 0.10, a regular rhythm as well. It just has some intermittent behavioral issues, and these temper tantrums we've talked about are these PACs and PVCs. So this is a normal sinus rhythm at a rate of about 95 with PVCs and PACs. So just because it has a PAC or PVC doesn't override the fact that this is what we're looking for. It just has a couplet of PVCs, a PAC. So let's do another one real quick. All right, so we got this little trace in here. We really have like a total of 6 seconds here. You've got this 1, 2, and then 3. Okay, so let's start off by looking at our R to R interval. Pick any one you want. We'll start here. It is close on that one, way off 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 on that one. So this is irregular. If we're looking, I'm going to zoom you in now. So we know it's irregular. This is our 6 seconds. Ends here, begins at this finger, so let's count that. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So this is a heart rate of about 150. And it is irregular. So that's what we know so far. Irregular, 150 plus on the heart rate. So let's zoom in and see if we can see a complex. All right. So I could maybe think this is a P wave, right? And a QRS, or is that a T wave? I don't really know because it's not clearly defined. If we look over here, I would say maybe this inversion was my T wave and that's a P, or maybe that was a T and there's P, but that looks like 3 of them or something. I can't really tell. And so I can clearly see that I have, and look at this one right here. Let's see if I can zoom in really close for you on that one. See how it's all wiggly and jiggly? You can't say for sure if any of those are a P wave. And you have irregular QRS complexes at a high rate. I can't identify a P wave. There's no PRI interval, but my QRS is still within that normal range. Looking at this one, I've got 0.4, 0.08. So I have 0.08 for the QRS complex there. So I know that I have a normal QRS complex, so it can't be a ventricular arrhythmia. I know it is an arrhythmia because it's irregular. I know it's fast. So when I think about those things in combination, I have to go, okay, what are my atrial arrhythmias? I have AFib, I have flutter, and I have PACs that we've discussed anyways. PACs can't be the issue because there's nothing regular to compare that to. Flutter can't be the issue because I don't have that nice sawtooth pattern associated with flutter, and I can't actually identify any P waves like I can in flutter. So that only leaves me with one option, which is AFib. So this here is AFib at approximately 140 to 150, which means that that ventricular rate is also rapid. So I'm not sure if that really helped you guys. I hope that it does, that you can actually see how to go through and do each one by hand. This one here is flutter. It's much easier to see each individual P, 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 P. You know, this is just looking at it in lead 2, which is indicated by that Roman numeral 2 I have circled there, or lead 5, the Roman numeral 5 there. So that's a flutter. It's easier to see. This is a patient who was in a nice normal sinus rhythm, right? We can see a P, a QRS, followed by a T. It's kind of a slow rate though, right? I mean, doesn't look too fast, maybe like 60, 70. But then earlier at the beginning of this strip, we had all these crazy PVCs, right? There were 7 of them back to back, but they're all the same shape. So we had a run of 7 PVCs that were unifocal. So that, because it's more than 3, was actually a period of VTAC. So this person has been in normal sinus rhythm with a 6-second run of VTAC because everything else was normal, right? But then they had this one section right here, which was a 6 or 7 second run of VTAC. See that? And then this one, it's hard to read because it's so fast, but this is just a tachycardic patient, okay? It looks really quick, but if you look down here, you can clearly see a P. Let me zoom in for you, sorry. You can clearly see there's a P, a QRS, a T. The S goes down, you know, comes back to baseline. We have this T. It's just at a really quick rate. So you're looking at a normal R to R interval. Mark that so you can see it. So there's 1, 2, 3. I checked in 4 places. It's normal. It's just quick, right? And here's my 6 seconds. I have that marked. Let me zoom out and make sure you can see the whole 6-second area. Dark line there to the other dark line. Yep, so y'all can see the whole 6 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yeah, so you're talking somebody whose heart rate could be in that section there, you know, like, oh, I'm sorry. Makes it better, doesn't it? I missed a 6-second marker. I apologize, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Like 13. So 135. That makes it a little better, right? 135 there, but it's normal. So that's just sinus tach. The reason it kind of waves up and down, that's just the patient moving in their bed. They may have coughed. That's just repositioning. Remember, I told you it really depends on where the leads are as to where you see things. So that's the deal with that. All right, I hope this really helps. I'll put this up on YouTube for you. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to let me know.